Hi, friends. This is Caitlin. Welcome back. I hope that you are super excited because we have another sneak peek this week for Pink and Main's release that comes out tomorrow. Um, if you can't tell, I'm very excited. So definitely leave me a comment down below. Let me know where you are watching from. Last time was super fun because we had people from all over the country and Australia even. And I love seeing you guys check in. It just makes me so happy. But I am really excited, and we're going to try to do two cards again today. So I think we're just going to jump right on into the card making part. So let me switch us over. Oh, hey from Florida. Hey, Susan. Okay, so as per my usual, I have my card bases ready to go. We are going to be working on two A2 size side folding card bases, and I've already attached a panel of Pebble cardstock to each, just a full size panel for that. Oh man, Georgia, New York, I love it. It's like collecting all the states. That would be fun to go through and figure out if we can get them all, right? So for my first layer that's going to go on top of both of these cards, I cut from the scalloped oval dies. It's the biggest die from that set. They look like this, and you can see I love them. I use them very often. So we're actually going to be using the biggest size and then one size down, and we're going to be layering them up. So I'm going to go ahead and start by putting the bigger size one down first. We're going to get these card bases ready to go. And then we will jump into, we're going to do some stenciling today and some Copic coloring. And the reason we're making two cards, I'm a little bit on a two-card kick, I think, right now. But specifically for this one is the stamp set that we're using is a baby related stamp set for baby, welcoming a new baby, baby showers, probably even like a first birthday you could use it for, which is changing up the sentiment. So because of that, obviously, if you're going to like a gender reveal party or something like that, or you wanted to just keep it very gender neutral, there are options for that in this one too. But I really couldn't pick, so I just decided to do a baby boy and baby girl card for today. So I have those glued down. I just glued them flat. Of course, we will be adding foam, just not yet. We'll get there. So I'm going to set those to the side. And I'm going to show you the stamp set. So this is coming out tomorrow. This is the Welcome Baby stamp set. How stinking cute is that, you guys? So you get a regular little onesie with the sleeves. You get the cute little overall style playsuit. And then the center of these are both cut out, which makes it way easier to stamp because you don't have to worry about ink getting in the middle or getting that bubble. And then all of these little images and the cupcake fit on the onesies. So you can change them out. Even the sentiments fit in the onesies. So you can use them as sentiments on their own, or you can put them in. I decided to put some of the images in. And the other thing that I realized today that it made me love this stamp set even more is that the dies cut out the main whole onesie for both of these, but then also there's a secondary die for both that just cuts out the center part. So you can like stamp out the one with the frills specifically. Now I didn't prepare to do that today, but the next time I use this, I'm going to cut it out from like a lacy white and then cut this layer, which would just be the center part from a color. And that way you get the little white lacy frills and then the color in the center. Oh my gosh. And the same with the onesie, you get it without the sleeves. So you can layer them up. And I just think that's so much fun. So obviously the It's a Boy, It's a Girl, Welcome Baby, which is great for, like I said, like a gender reveal, something like that. And then congrats on your new arrival. Hey, sweetie, for your little one. And then all of these super cute little images that you can pop in. So I already prepped my images. So these are the two we're going to be doing. I'm going to be doing a kind of more feminine little onesie with pink and yellow with the You Are My Sunshine with the frills. And then the Love You Tons, we're going to make a little slightly more masculine with a blue and gray, because I thought that would tie in so cute with that little elephant, Love You Tons. But obviously you could color these up however you want. And that's what I just love about these. So I do already have them die cut. I have them just taped on the back so we can get our coloring done. And I'm really excited to color these. So I think we're going to color first, and then we'll do our ink blending for our background next. So let me get us zoomed in a little more, I think. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Kendra. Hey, Deborah. I'm so excited. Everybody's starting to jump in. It's fun. This is starting to be like our own little Tuesday, Thursday hangout. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll start with the elephant one. And so I'm going to go in with some soft baby blues, if you will, for the onesie, putting down my little coaster. So I'm going to start with B12. I generally start with my darkest shade first and work up to my lightest. If you are newer to coloring or concerned about the placement of your colors for your shadows, you could definitely map them out with the lighter shades first and then work your way darker and then back to light. That's how I started out coloring. But at this point, I am comfortable enough with my markers that I feel okay to jump right in. And for this one, I think I'm going to leave the edging. It's not what that's really called, but like the little ribbed edges on the seams, I'm going to leave those white, and I'm going to leave the ruffles white on the other one. So we're going to do a little arm seam shadow and blend that up. Let's do some shading on the bottom of the snaps. Spin the chair around a little bit. There would be a little shadow under that crossover. And then the inside. Just going to color that completely blue. So that was the B12. I'm going to jump up to a B00 and just start pulling that color out. This is definitely going to be really muted and really soft, but not that baby cards have to be pastel, but obviously that is the kind of typical look for a baby card. Just going to blend that out, pulling that color down. My marker could probably use a little more ink. I think I need to do a marker overhaul at this point. I'm pretty sure they all basically need to get cleaned and re-inked. Unfortunately, that's my least favorite part about using Copics. But the maintenance is important to having well-working markers. I do know that Pink and Main started carrying the Olo markers on the site. And so I think at some point I'm going to have to try my hand at those so I can show you guys how those work too. I'm just going to go over everything pretty much now with the second layer of this B000 just to make sure I have a really smooth blend. And then in a couple little spots, I'm going to go back in with my B12 while that paper is still wet and just re-emphasize some of those shadows. This is such a cute and like cartoony style image that I really think a little bit of a bolder shadow line will be cute and not super jarring. Okay, that is our little blue. I'm going to go in with some cool grays just to do the edging because I don't want it to look, I want it to look shaded white. I don't want it to look gray and I don't want it to look forgotten. So just going to take a little bit of that gray right on the edges. And we'll add a couple to those little snaps too. And then going in with a C1, I'm just going to pull that out and I'm going to leave white space in the middle. And that is what is going to help this to read as white and not gray. And then you know what? I'm going to just grab one gray darker. So I'm jumping to a C5 and we'll use the same grays for our elephant. Well, thanks for stopping by, Carmen. I'm so glad you got to see us for a second. That's the fun thing about the lives too, guys, is you can always watch the replay if you miss hanging out with us in the moment. And if you're watching this in the future on replay, hi, how are you? I appreciate you being here. I hope the future is nice. So that was my C5. I'm going to go in with my C3, making sure I'm overlapping onto the darker marker as well as pulling that color out to the next area on my paper. And we're going to leave his little cheek open so we can give him some blush marks. C1 and pull that out the rest of the way. That's so cute. And then for his blush, we'll just go in with the R20. Shape that in. Nova Scotia, I bet it is damp and chilly. So that is our first onesie done. Love you tons. And that cute, super cute little elephant. So now I'm just going to rotate and we're going to jump to our little frilly outfit. And so I'm going to go in with the C3. We'll do the white first this time just because I have it in my hand. And so I'm going to add a little very thin edge where the ruffles are meeting the onesie, play suit, jumpsuit. And then I'm going to go in with the C1. And from that edge, I'm going to pull out that gray into the middle, like where those bumps pop up. Almost like little sun rays. Still leaving white on that very edge. And it's not a huge difference, but once you see it with the rest of the coloring, it will like pop and help everything to still look really complete. And again, like it didn't get forgotten. So we're gonna go pale pinks on this one, and I grabbed a yellow for the sun. So I'm starting out with my R21, and I'm gonna do the same idea. Anywhere that there would be a shadow, and then along the outside of the garment. So under these tabs, or straps, I guess, around the little snap area, on the legs, and then those edges. Also going to do the straps, but I'm just going to do the outside of those. We're going to leave the inner part a little lighter. I don't know why, I just like it. So then I'm going to go to my R20. It's so funny. I was the first of like my college roommate friends to have kids. And so now they all have kids, and it feels like the last couple of years I've really needed some baby shower and baby sprinkle cards. We have another one coming up on April 1st, actually. And I'm so excited. So I did make her a card already, but maybe she just needs two. Maybe she'll get this Love You Tons card too. Yeah, Deborah. I mean, I think it all depends on the recipient and kind of what they're going for. I know I've had at least one friend who didn't want to know the gender until the baby was born. And so for someone who, you know what I mean, if you know that going into the shower event with them, I would say going with the neutrals or the greens and yellows. Rainbows, anything like that, especially if it's somebody maybe that you're very close with and you know that it is a rainbow baby. Those things are definitely nice to customize your cards. But I've also had friends that were very excited to be having a specific gender. And so I think it's just really between you and your recipient, what makes you happy and what you know is going to make them happy. But I think all babies, right? As long as we're celebrating the baby, I think it's okay, no matter how we color it. I just love a baby. I just want to squish all the babies. So my R20 to my R00 is a pretty big jump. So I just pulled that R20 back through the middle, and then I'm just gonna re-blend it with that R00 just to make sure around my sentiment is nice and blended, but I still want it brightest right there in the middle. And then for the sun, I grabbed the Y30s. So I'm going to do, hey Terry, I'm going to do a little yellow circle. You know what? We'll do the buttons yellow too. That's cute. That was a Y35, and then I'm going to go in with Y32. It's not a huge contrast, but it'll still be very pretty. And it's going to match really well with the pearls that I grabbed. And then it's not going to stand out a lot because I did that pink already, but I'm just going to pull out some of that yellow around these sun rays. I think that's sweet. Can't forget the blush marks. And then I'm going to use that same C3 and C1 combination for the clouds. Just adding a little shadow line to those. And pulling it out just a little bit. And there is a look at both of our little outfits. They're so stinking cute. Oh, I love them so much. All right, so I picked my background today because I have to tell you guys a story. On my first Pink and Main live that I did, I used the Fun Lattice stencils. And the way that I used them, I think was really cute, but it was not technically the right way to use them. So I used the flowers that time instead of the hearts, which made it make even more sense in my head when I did it. But I lined them up like this. So I had the flowers in the middle of some of the leaves, and everything kind of lined up in order. And in reality, they're meant to go like this. And you can tell that by where the notches are for if you're putting these into a binder. And so today I'm going to redeem myself, and we're going to use them again, and we're going to use them the way they were intended. I won't say the right way because I still think that the way that I did it was cute. And for the card that I made, I like how it looked. But we're going to use them the way that they were intended to be used today. So, Kendra, I stamped my little onesies out in the Asphalt Premium Dye ink, but I did them about an hour ago maybe, and I just set them to the side to dry. I don't think they need a full hour to dry to keep them from smudging or smearing, but I generally try to give them maybe 10, 15 minutes if I can, just because these are such juicy stamps or ink pads. So when in doubt, I do try to give them a little more time to dry than I normally would. But yeah, that's the ink that I used. Okay, so I cut the one size smaller of the scalloped oval die. So you can see that's going to fit perfectly right there. And we're going to get that little lacy border that I thought would kind of play off of our cute little ruffle onesie. So these are what I'm going to be inking up with my stencils. Let me grab some printer paper. And I need to add in some more of the mini blending brushes to my stash. So you're going to have to forgive me. I'm going to be using some other blending brushes tonight. But you could definitely do these with the mini ergonomic blending brushes from Pink and Mane, or honestly, the big ones too. I'm gonna grab, if I can get it to come out, my Make Art Station with my magnets. I just find this is the easiest way for me to do my stenciling. So what I do is I just fold a piece of printer paper with like an inch or however much at the top, and I tuck it around the back of my metal plate. And then now I know that my paper is going to stay in place. My everything's in place. So the other thing I'm going to do, we're going to get tricky about this. I'm going to take a pen and I'm going to create notches for myself so I know where to line up my other stencil. Yeah, right. That's right. Yes, 100%. That's right. Okay. See, I'm so paranoid now that I'm going to do it wrong. Okay, so for the Love You Tons, I'm going to be using Barbershop ink and Asphalt, and we're going to be just applying the lightest amount physically possible that I can get to come off of this paper. So what I'm actually going to do too is grab a scrap of cardstock that I can blend off onto. So I'm going to tap into my blue. I'm going to go in on my scrap and knock some of that back. And then, no, I don't want to do that first. I have the leaves down. So let's do the black. Same thing though, using my cardstock to knock off some of that black. And we're going to go in over the little leaves or points. And this is just going to give us that really soft gray that will match our little elephant image. So I'm literally just tapping this on the side. And I think it's okay if some of them are a little darker than others. But we definitely are going for gray and not a harsh black. So when I'm tapping into my ink, I'm also being very mindful to not pick up a lot of color so that I'm not wasting it either by tapping it off. I want to make sure I'm getting all the way around the edges so we have a beautiful complete pattern. Done. So now I'm going to take that stencil off. And we're going to line up our little hearts. I probably should have taped this down, but it's really not shifting. So I'm using those notches as a guide, but also in case it did shift, I can just also eyeball it. Just like that. Okay, and now we'll do our blue. And if you start to put down your brush and you feel like, oh my God, there's so much ink in one spot, just do really big circles with your brush and it'll help to force that color to disperse for you. And again, I'm just making sure I'm getting all the way to the edges with that baby blue. Oh my goodness. There you go. That's the way it was meant to be used. Oh, how cute is that going to be with our little love you tons? Tell me that doesn't just look like a little baby blanket in the background. Oh, that's going to be so good. Okay, well, we have one more to do. This time I am going to run just a tiny bit of low tack tape. I'm just going to do like a little loop, putting it on my clothes first. A little loop, and I'm going to tape this one down into place so that I don't have to worry about that part. And then this one we're going to do with the construction ink and the dress shop ink. And I'm just going to set this one back. I want to just wipe off my stencil really quick. And I'm just going in with a little bit of water on my microfiber towel with that scrap cardstock underneath to make sure that I don't get color transfer. I don't want any blue in my or black on my other pattern. But I also don't want my stencil sopping wet. So spraying just a little bit of water onto the towel is the perfect way to do that because then you don't end up with a soppy mess either. Okay, so I'm going to use my notches I drew in again. I'm thinking, let's do pink first this time for our leaves. And this pink is so pink. So I really want to tap that product into my brush. The Dress Shop ink is stunning, but it is very vibrant. And you can see how much just tapping in a couple times really picks up. No. Okay. Perfect. Our pink. And then one more time with our hearts. Use our notches as a guide. And then this time with the construction, which is definitely like a very warm orangey yellow. But I did color the sun with, yeah, you know what I mean? The sun is generally colored as an orangey yellow. And I tried to pick Copics that would coordinate well with these colors. So if you're using something else, you can definitely change up your colors to try to coordinate and match with your inks. That one little heart's going to be a little darker and the other ones, but good. Lid on, make a mess. And there we go. Up. Oh my gosh. Guys, how cute. Like in my head, I knew this was going to be cute, but I really think I scored on this one, guys. Let's put these things away. Clean up my space. All right, so we have our bases and our layers and our pearls. And of course, my much beloved foam. Look at this thing. We barely even dipped into it. I've been using it every single week and it looks the same. All right, so the question is, do we pop up the oval and do the onesie flat? Do we pop up both? Or do we put the oval flat and then add the onesie popped up? I need at least someone to vote with me what we should do while I get the other supplies ready. Anyone out there? Help me out. What do you think? All of it popped up, just the bottom, or just the image? We have a vote for the top oval. We have a vote for the onesies. We have a vote for both. Oh my gosh. Maybe we'll do them different. Let's do one with the oval popped, and let's do one with the onesie popped. We'll do it that way. And that way, everybody, we can all win. Oh, it wouldn't be one of my cards if it didn't have a dog hair in it. So there's a Luna hair in the foam tape for our project tonight. She's sending her love to the new baby too. Sorry guys, I'm off screen. Just peeling off the backing. All right, let's make sure I have this opening the right way. I'm gonna have to do this at a little bit of an angle. Normally I would stand up. I'm gonna eyeball it first and make sure I like it before I press down and commit. And then we'll do our onesie on this one flat. And I'm just letting the messages on the onesies be my sentiment for these cards. So I'm not leaving room for a sentiment, but you could also push this up and put a sentiment at the bottom. That would be pretty cute. And then for this side, we're going to do our oval flat and pop up the ones. I really appreciate you guys commenting back to let me know which one you thought. I hope that our compromise makes everybody happy. I'll have to keep that in mind in the future if there's options like that, that maybe doing two cards like this is really good for that reason too. Then we can see different versions. Okay, The same thing. I'm going to tilt it a little so I can see it, eyeball it, that it's center. That way, if I want to adjust it, I can before I push down and commit. And then I grabbed the pastel pearls, that's what they're called. And I want to just add some of the yellow to our sunshine one and a couple of the blue, I'm thinking, to the elephant one. And these definitely have a few different sizes. So I'm leaning with the small ones. I'm thinking maybe just popping them into the center of these little leaves would be cute. A fun way to tie in the other color, right? Like we have the the blue hearts on the with the blue pearls and then yellow hearts and yellow pearls. Yeah, I'm gonna stop practicing them and we'll just commit. I really like how that looks. I think the little tiny pearls are just a really cute little accent or they won't steal the show. I really love the extra like balance of the neutral and the white space on these, but I also think it would be cute if you had like a coordinating pastel paper to do that instead of like the pebble. I think that would be really sweet too. I love the craft pebble cardstock. So it's definitely just like a good standard neutral for me. You could definitely um, lean into those colors a little more. I'm also going to shameless plug this little tray that I just poured some of my pearls into. This is from Twiddler's Nook, and she's on the Pink and Mane design team, Amanda, and she is awesome. And I love these little trays. And just the wheels are great because it keeps everything in one place, but they're not the easiest to dig through. So sometimes I like having my little embellishment tray from Twiddler's Nook to pour my stuff out into just so I can see all of my size options. And it helps me to make sure that they're facing up when I need them to be. Oh my gosh. And then the cool thing is it has this little like notch out of it. And so you just kind of tilt all of your pearls into that section and then you're good to go. Except for the one that escaped. Don't tell Amanda. All right, so there are my cue cards. How stinking cute are those? If you have somebody that's having twins, there you go. Both done at once. So I just think these are so adorable. I hope that you are loving these sneak peeks at these new stamp sets. So if you joined in late, this is one of the stamp sets coming out tomorrow. This is Welcome Baby, and it has all of these adorable little sayings that you can stamp into the onesies. That's what we used for our cards today. So that is a wrap on another one, guys. How perfect is that? Let me turn this out of your face. So I am so excited for you to see the full release tomorrow. If you want to see more sneak peeks, you can definitely jump back if you haven't seen it already. I showed some newness on the live on Tuesday, and I believe yesterday there was a live on Pink and Mean as well that showed some new goodies. And then twice a day all week on the blog, which is listed in the description, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook, it's down there or up there for you. All of the design team have been working really hard on creating sneak peeks for the new stuff over there and posting twice a day all week as well. And then obviously tomorrow on YouTube, Michelle will have, usually tomorrow or Saturday, Michelle will have a full YouTube rundown with an overview of the release and everything that is new. I also saw that Kendra has a video up, I think today, showing one of the new subscription like kits that are out, and it's so cute. So make sure that you go check that out too while you're on the YouTube page. I think that's all of my plugs. I just am so grateful that you came to hang out with me. I will be back next week. Next week's going to be, I'm trying something different. We're going to start cards with backgrounds on Tuesday and then finish them up with our images on Thursday. So we'll do a two-parter series for the cards for next week. And I think that'll be really fun and something to just change it up and give us a little extra like bridge through our week. So thank you guys so much for coming to hang out. I hope that you're feeling inspired. I hope you love the new release tomorrow, and I will see you on Tuesday. Thanks, guys. Happy crafting.